Hey guys, welcome back to an all new video. I am recording a voiceover because the audio on my camera is not as good. But I'm going to introduce this project as a 3D atom bomb relief sculpture card. Now I had done one for my buddy, here it is on the screen, for his birthday, and it was really popular. A couple people asked me to do them for commissions, so it is now in my customs shop. I will link below. You can order your very own, any card you want. But I thought I would go through a little bit of my process on how I do this. So obviously I'm using a Baltic birch wood panel canvas. That way it's pretty lightweight, but also it can go in the oven with the Sculpey on it. The Sculpey bakes at a very low temp, about, I think it's like 275. So it's low enough that it doesn't cause any issue to the wood. And then that glue I'm using is called Bake and Bond. It is made by Sculpey. It is specifically to bond the Sculpey to the board or whatever you're doing. Could be even to each other, but like some people will bake it, let it dry, and then will, add more on top of it and then rebake it. In order for it to stick, you might want to use Bake and Bond. Now, I also apologize for how dry my hands are. They are so cut up. It's between washing my hands consistently because I'm using all different kinds of art things, and working with clay is not helping, but I apologize for how dry they are. So anyway, first what I kind of did was I figured out that the addition of too much clay onto this canvas basically is not good, because it ends up being very front heavy, and I don't want it to fall over or have any reason to fall off the wall because of weight. Now, obviously, with something like this, I would put maybe wire, picture wire hanger, because I feel like that's going to be the most secure. You can also put it on a stand like I did for my buddy's card earlier. That's fine. And again, the less that it weighs, probably the better. So I kind of decided what needed to be 3D and what I could get away with painting that would still look 3D, but also not add too much weight. So initially, obviously, I wanted his tie to look like it was flying, and I wanted to do the explosion in a bit of 3D, but I was fearful that if I did too much it wouldn't look good, and if I didn't do it, well, too much it would overdo it, and didn't do enough, wouldn't look good. So I did add a little bit later, and you'll see I added just some of the front splashes, but you'll see when we get to that. In the meantime, the one thing I'm making sure to do is to smooth out the edges that are actually touching the wood so that it does look natural. Like obviously his hand or his arm on the left side does look like it could be appearing from coming out of the canvas. Initially, I wanted the feet and the legs to stick out a little bit more, but again, I was fearful that too much weight of the clay would end up like kind of bringing this guy down. And I still think I achieved a lot of the 3D look. It took a while too. You're talking about this is probably like a 5-hour video that I have condensed into about 10 minutes, and that's between sculpting and painting and baking and all that good stuff. So in order to get the explosion part that I was adding in, I peeled up the broken pieces of his head just a bit so that I could get the nice pieces of the explosion in there. And then I just, I work the clay until it's smooth. Now, I find that I am a perfectionist, so I can overwork something a million times, but I'm actually pretty happy with the outcome. I don't think it was too overworked. It still has that very handmade quality, and I like that. So after the sculpting is complete and I have baked it, I do clear gesso because partially I wanted to keep some of my lines in there, and then I realized that my tone that I put down is red and the transfer color was red, so it was all lost anyway. But I do like the clear gesso because I kind of feel like I can smooth it out easier, and I just honestly like using clear gesso on things, so I used it. So this is a combination of red that I love. I make it and I use it for all my background stuff. It's basically fluorescent pink, and I always say this wrong, naphthol crimson. And if I'm saying that wrong, you can laugh at me because I probably am. So I first always mix up a skin tone. Oh, and I will say this, that Garbage Pail Kid logo, that is not perfectly drawn on there. That is perfectly transferred on there. I basically printed out the logo within the size parameter of what I was working on, which is a 4x6 canvas. And I just transferred it on there because I wanted it to really look like the logo. And I am a hand letter. I probably could have, just done it, but work smarter, not harder. So that's my motto. And with things like that are especially kind of iconic, I really wanted it to look like that. So for this piece, I'm working in acrylic. Typically, lately, I've been working in gouache, but this is acrylic. And I lay in all my colors. I usually like to just lay in all the flat colors, but I decided to kind of work in tandem and do the shading and the highlighting. And I'll do more as it goes along, but basically that's where this is going. Here's where we're getting into a lot of the really nice color pops and that explosion. And there's still more to come. I'm still going to be adding some darks. But then, of course, I thought, oh man, I got to add some more of his head pieces that are flying away. And I did that, and I also tried to make it look like it was three-dimensional as well, even though it's actually painted on the board. I also went with the exact coloring of his Garbage Pail Kid logo. On his particularly, it is blue, but it does change from card to card. Then I was adding a little bit of that nice bright pop color that they have on the card under the explosion as well. And here come the darks. This is really, I think, what sells the explosion is that dark contrast. And again, I was trying not to use too much black because sometimes I feel like when I use black, I make it too muddy. So this is mostly, actually, I don't even think there is black. The only thing that might be black is the pupil in the eye. And that's about it. And that's even hard to see just because he has a darker blue eye color. Oh, I lied. There's a black outline. That is on the original card, so I needed to make sure I did that. Oh, and then here I'm adding the little peel here and his number that he has. Couple little fine details. But pretty much this guy is done, and he was a blast to make. I think my favorite part is the painting because you kind of see everything coming together. But the sculpting is always really fun too. No matter what I'm doing, I'm always making it fun. So if you feel that way about art, you're already winning. So as we're coming into the end of the video here, I want to wrap up by saying that not only was this a fun project, but I look forward to doing more. Link down below if you want to order one of your own. But otherwise, I will see you guys back at the drawing board. Oh, and that's what it looks like with gloss coat on it.